Tatra. Okay, but before that, what we'll do. Atha Purusha Suktam. See, last week we saw the construction of the Vedas, and we also saw why Vedic literature to some extent is glorified, and there is value to it, and why Purusha Suktam has a certain place in the Vedic Suktas, right? And so now we'll look at when the term Purusha is referred to as, what it means, right? Now, Purusha in general parlance, if you go to Sanskritam, you'll say Purushaha. Purushaha iti ekavachanam of Pullinga. Pullinga Shabdaha. It is a Pullinga Shabda, ekavachanam of Pullinga Shabda is Purushaha, which means it is the singular tense or the singular form of a masculine word, Purusha. And what Purusha means in the dictionary, Sanskritam dictionary, it is a male. Masculine. Anything that's masculine or male is Purusha. But here, when they're referring to Purusha, it is not necessarily to a male as a gender. It is not a gender which is male. These are the meanings that are offered. They say, Puru Bahu Sanoti iti Purushaha. So the one who gives a lot, gives in plenty, is a Purushaha. Then Purati Agre Gachati, always goes in the front. Agre Gachati, goes in the front. He is a Purusha. Puri Shete Yaha, the one who resides inside this Puri. Puri means a place. Yeah, like for example, we say Dharmapuri, Mayapuri.
Puri Jagannath.
Puri Jagannath, Jagannath Puri. That Puri there also means that it's a place, it's a station or as a location where you reside or you stay. So Puri Shete Yaha, which means the one who resides. Shete means to reside or to rest or to lie down. So the one who resides in this assuming this body is the place. Like those who are familiar with the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Kshetra Kshetrajna. So the Kshetrajna is the one who is inside the Kshetra. So this is assuming the body is a field or the body is a place, and the one who resides in the body, the consciousness, is Purushaha. That is the explanation. Third, Sarvam Purayati Yaha. The fourth one is the one who fills everything. Vyomatita. There's a term called Vyomatita, which means he is the one who is beyond or encompassing this space. Yeah, what is that Dakshinamurti Stotram?
Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya.
Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya, correct. Thank you. Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya. So one whose body is encompassing as the space is encompassing. Wherever you see there is space, can you say there is no space here? Of course, you can say. பக்கத்துல ரொம்ப ஒட்டிட்டு யாராவது உட்காந்துருந்தானா இங்க இடமே இல்லைன்னு சொல்லுவோம். There is no space. But what we mean to say is there is no space, there is no place here where you cannot say there is no space. Even in the smallest in the atomic particle, you will say there is space between two electrons. There is space between the nucleus and the electrons. There is space. There is space everywhere. Objects, in fact, it is said that about 99% of this whole creation is space. There's only 1% or 2% that is creation. The rest of it is just space, empty space. So the one who fills all of the space, Sarvam Purayati Yaha, the one who fills everything here. Sarvam Brahmamayam. They say Sarvam Brahmamayam, or Vyomavat Vyapta Deha. His body is as though it is filling up the whole space. That person is called Purushaha. See, all the four, there is no reference to a gender at all. Correct? So there is no reference to gender. So when you think of Purusha Suktam, remember you are not referring to God as a male. In the same way, when we discussed Sri Suktam last Navaratri, when you do Sri Suktam, you are not thinking of God as a female. It's a feminine aspect depicted in a certain, the feminine aspect is exaggerated. Here the masculine aspect is exaggerated. That is all. And how is this? Today you go, you talk about male, female are all equal and all of that. We're not talking about gender equality. We are talking about some of these things were done by, are more masculine oriented. Like for example, who provides in a household? Generally, the one who provides is the male, one who gives in plenty. So when say Puru Bahu Sanoti iti Purushaha, means the one who is giving is Purusha, which means the one who provides is the Purusha, which means the, in a general social structure, it is the male who provides for the family and the society. Hence, that is referred as a male. Similarly, the male is the one who goes ahead behind the, he goes ahead of his family. Purati agre gacchati, which means he goes in the front, means what? He is the one, male is the one who does that. Why? Because even in our ancient, the caveman, the man will go in the front and the women will come behind. Why? Because the man is equipped to fight with any unknown dangers that may come. So he walks in the front. Hence, it's a male. So that is all. Because there is some relevance to the social structures that we live in, this Purushaha is referred to as a male. But otherwise, it does not necessarily refer to as a male. It is a principle. Purushaha is a principle. Okay. And then there are two Upanishads that talk about Purusha Suktam. Okay. And which is also, I told you the last time also we mentioned this. That is also the reason why Purusha Suktam is so exalted. Because there are two Upanishads that talk about this. One is called Subala Upanishad, the other is Mudgala Upanishad. The rishi called Mudgala and Subala. They are two different rishis who have spoken about and described the phrases of Purusha Suktam. Okay. And Purusha Suktam takes a lot of importance and prominence in Vishishtadvaita or Ramanuja's philosophy is also because he has also made a lot of reference to these works. The Purusha Suktam, the Upanishads, etc., the Subala Upanishad, etc. Okay. So that is a brief introduction of this thing. And now we said Purusha Suktam actually comes in all the Vedas, but then primarily it's being picked up from the Rig Veda. Rig Veda 90th Suktam is the of the 10th mandala. The 90th Suktam is the Purusha Suktam. Now, which is why you see some of these variances here, because this is picked up from the Rig Veda. I'll show you this thing. Sabhumim. So the way we chant is Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva, because that is we chant the Yajurveda form. See, most of the people in the south belong to the Krishna Yajurveda clan, the Shakha, Krishna Yajurveda Shakha. Most of us. If you are Yajurvedis, if you are, of course, there are Rigvedis and Samavedis in the south of India too. But if you are a Yajurvedi, you will belong to a Krishna Yajurvedi Shakha, because Shukla Yajurvedis are usually in the north. So in the Yajurveda, the way we chant is generally based on the Yajurveda Yajurveda way of the chant. Okay. Now let's go back to the. So this is a brief introduction of what the what Purusha Suktam is. Okay. Now we'll look at the Shanti Mantra. Now why is Shanti Mantra important? Is because, and we've done this in the Ishavasya Upanishad, when we did Ishavasya Upanishad also we saw. Shanti Mantra is not associated to a particular Suktam or Upanishad or a particular work. It is associated to the Veda. So the Shanti Mantra, there are a few Shanti Mantras within every Vedas, and whichever Upanishad that belongs to the Veda is chanted, the Shanti Mantra of that Veda is chanted. Right? So if you recall, we did Ganapati Atharva Shirsha. So Bhadrang Karnebhi Shrunayama Devaha Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangai Stuštva Gumsastanubhi Yashema Deva Hitanyadayuhu Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti na Starksho Arishtanemihi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadhatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. One of my favorite Shanti mantras. This is the Atharva Veda Shanti mantra. Right? And then there are several other. Yajurveda has Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. This is why we did, when we did Ishavasya Upanishad, this particular Shanti mantra comes in. Like that, each Veda has their Shanti, set of Shanti mantras. Now, the Purusha Sukta particularly has a different kind of a Shanti mantra. Om Tat Chanyora Vranimahe Gatun Yajnaya Gatun Yajnapataye Daivi Swastirastunaha Swastir Manushebhya Urdhvan Jigatu Bheshajam Shanno Astu Dvipade Shan Chatushpade Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So it starts with this Shanti mantra. So if you remember, the Bhadrang Karnebhi is essentially to say, let everything be auspicious. Let everyone be auspicious. Let everyone be blessed. Another Shanti mantra you would have heard is Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahi Tejasvina Avadhitamastu Mavit Vishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So all of these Shanti mantras are essentially establishing some level of auspiciousness in your environment. Before you indulge into the study of the Vedas, before you indulge into the study of the scriptures or any form of inner exploratory study, it is good to do the Shanti mantra, because, and we do all kinds of Shanti. Till morning we do, you do Vakratunda Mahakaya, that is a Shanti. You can consider that as a Shanti mantra. Guru Brahma, we are invoking the Guru. That's a Shanti mantra. Anything that you do to kind of invoke some level of grace, peace, auspiciousness, consider that as a Shanti mantra. But these are all Vedic Shanti mantras. Vedic chants. Now, what does this particular Shanti mantra do? This is also in the same lines. It is offering the, it offers you the same, when you're invoking auspiciousness and grace, right? Om Tachanyora Vranimahe Gatum Yajnaya. So you're saying Tat Samyoho Avranimahe. I am seeking that auspiciousness that provides me peace and tranquility. Okay. Then Gatum Yajnaya. We seek the growth of this yajna, or which means may this yajna that I do on a daily basis grow. Okay. We will talk a little bit about yajna, because Purusha Suktam is a suktam that is used in yajna. Most of the times, all your whenever you start a yajna or a homa, Purusha Suktam is chanted. And in those days, when this Purusha Suktam is heavily used as a means of doing sacrifices, right? And you will see it in the verses also. But it's also considered as an Upanishad, because it is not just a ritual. Purusha Suktam is not just ritualistic in nature, it's also Vedantic in nature. Which is why we are discussing it, right? If it is ritualistic in nature, we won't be discussing it. Because there is Vedanta in it, there is a deeper understanding in it. We are talking about it. And the way it sees yajna is something we will discuss. Yajna is not the way that you take a havis and put it into a fire or homakunda. That is not the way yajna is seen. Yajna is seen in the way how Krishna mentions yajna in the Bhagavad Gita. Brahmarpanam brahmahavi brahmagno brahmanahutam. It's the same context in which yajna is also seen here. So he says, may this yajna grow. Gatum yajnaya, gatum yajna pataye. Which is the one who is doing the yajna, may he also grow. Yajnapati. Daivihi swasti astunaha. May all the grace of the gods be with us. Daivihi swasti astunaha. Swastir manushebhyaha. May the swasti. Swasti means su asti, which means the word su always refers to goodness. Du refers to, I don't want to say good and bad. Du refers to something that is a disturbing agency. An agency that is causing disturbance. Su is an agency that causes well-being. So, su asti, swasti. Swasti manushebhyaha. For manushaha, may there be swasti. May there be swasthya அப்படின்னு ஒரு வேர்டு வருது இல்ல, வெல்பீயிங். தமிழ்ல சொல்லுவோம் அது மாதிரி. ஹிந்தில
ஸ்வஸ்தமா இருக்கிறதுன்னு அத சொல்றாரு.
ஸ்வஸ்தமா இருக்கிறதுன்னு சொல்லுவா. கரெக்ட், ஸ்வஸ்தமா இருக்கிறது. In Hindi we say swasthya kaisa hai, swasth. So it actually comes from this term of well-being. Su asti, swasti. Then urdhvam jigatu bheshajam. May all the plants and creepers may also grow. May mankind. So how does it start? May the yajna grow. May the yajnapati grow. May we all be blessed with the grace of the gods and the deities. May there be auspiciousness for all mankind. May there be auspiciousness for plants and creepers, for all the aushadhi. And sanno astu dvipade. May there be sham. Sham nah. Sham also means, sham means auspiciousness. Shankaraha. The word Shankara is the one who does good, the one who does auspicious things for others. Shankaroti iti Shankaraha. This is the way the term goes. So Sham there means auspiciousness or well-being or doing generative things, not degenerative, but generative things. Sham naha astu dvipadehe. So the ones who are bipeds, dvipadehe. Who are bipeds? Human beings. ரெண்டு கால்ல நடக்கிறவா, bipeds, dvipade. May they be filled with auspiciousness. Sham chatushpade. May all animals also, the ones are four legs, may they also get this sham, this mangalam, this auspiciousness. Om shanti shanti shanti. So if you look at this, we are praying for everything around us. We are sitting, suppose you are sitting at a yajna. We are praying that now I am going to start this Purusha Suktam. May the yajna of Purusha Suktam, may that grow. May the one who is performing that, may he grow. May all mankind be auspicious and well. May we be blessed by all the different kinds of deities that are there. May the plants and creepers grow. May the bipeds, again, those who are all on 2 feet, 2 feet animals, may them be well. May the 4 feet animals be well. Om shanti shanti shanti. Okay. Now there are 3 kinds of shanti. We'll just take a couple of minutes. I know this may be a repeat for some, but it's good to always remember the 3 types of shantis. Why these 3 types of shantis are there, right? Because there are 3 types of tapa, obstacles. Tapatrayam. Tapatrayam refers to 3 types of obstacles that can come into any form of our endeavor. Any endeavor that we take on, 3 types of obstacles can come. One is called Adi Daivikam, Adi Bhautikam, Adhyatmikam. Okay. So Adi Daivikam, or maybe we start with Adhyatmikam. Adhyatmikam are all the inner disturbances. When I come and sit to study, or I want to sit and introspect and contemplate, or I want to do dhyana, I want to do some kind of an endeavor for my well-being. When I come and sit, முதுகு வலிக்கும், கால் வலிக்கும், அப்போதான் வந்து நமக்கு all sorts of problems will come. Right? கொசு கடிக்கும். கொசு கடிக்கிறது still external. I'm talking about still internal, right? கொசு கடிக்கிறது we can consider it as Adi Bhautikam or Adi Daivikam. But Adhyatmikam is my inner space. My inner space generates disturbances. I've heard people say that, sir, நாங்கள் வந்து நார்மலாக இருக்கிறச்சு ஒன்றும் பிரச்சனை இல்லை, மைண்ட் ஓகேயா இருக்கு, நீங்கள் தியானம் பண்ணுங்கன்னு சொல்கிறீங்களே, அப்போ தான் எக்கச்சக்க ப்ராப்ளம் வருது அப்படின்பா. அதுக்கு தியானம் பண்ணாமே இருக்கலாமே அப்படின்பா. So when you actually sit down to meditate, that is when suddenly it's like, oh my God, did I have so many thoughts அப்படின்னு இருக்கும். Where do all these come from? Right? And that happens because that's the way of the mind responds. The mind responds to things of whenever you're trying to calm the mind, it will start to agitate. During the day, you're already agitated, so you don't know the difference. If somebody working in a bar, for example, and he's listening to loud music all day long, he'll not find a big difference. Actually, when it is silent, he'll find it very uncomfortable. ரொம்ப சத்தமே இல்லாம இருக்கே அப்படின்னு he'll find it very uncomfortable. So what you're used to. So when you're used to the chatter of the mind, so much so that you don't recognize, we are not sensitive enough to recognize the chatter. Only when you calm down, sit down, close your eyes, then suddenly the chattering becomes very loud. Why? Because you're trying to do something that the mind is not used to. And then the chatter sound starts becoming, oh my God, where are these thoughts coming from? Where is it coming from? And all that. So these are Adi Daivikam. Adhyatmikam. Within myself, these are all obstacles that come when I'm trying to do a particular endeavor. Or also then suddenly, I'll not feel good. I'll feel depressed. Today I don't want to do this. I'm feeling low. Somebody said something to me, so I'm feeling very low. So today I will not do this. I will not do dhyana. I will not do. Because we also mix all of this, right? என்ன பெரிய கடவுள், நான் இவ்வளோ கஷ்டப்பட்டு இருக்கேனே அப்படின்னு. So I will not do my dhyana today. I will not do my sadhana today. As though he is going to have a problem by you not doing it, right? He doesn't care. So but our minds create these stories and say that, and these are obstacles. What we are saying is, without our knowledge, these are obstacles that come from within. And when we have justifications why these obstacles are acceptable, a lot of times these obstacles, we tell ourselves it is acceptable. And we give some justification to it. But nevertheless, there are obstacles. Why? Because it's stopping you from pursuing your own inner well-being. So, Adhyatmikam. Then, Adi Bhautikam. Adi Bhautikam is that which happens to your body. Something that is also sometimes not in your control. Right? Which is what we're saying. If I sit, I can't sit more than 10 minutes. My back starts aching, body starts paining. Suddenly my head starts aching. Mutti valikirudhu. If I keep folded legs for a long time, mutti valikirudhu. Then I have to stretch my leg out. Yeah, Adi Bhautikam. And also Adi Daivikam. The third obstacle is Adi Daivikam. Adi Daivikam is the environmental obstacles. So like the other day, we were doing a session and suddenly internet went off. Internet goes off. What can I do? We can't do anything. External factors. Mara peyirudhu, current poiduthu. Current goes off because of severe rains. We go out and suddenly it's too hot and I'm not able to sit and meditate because the floor has become very hot. Adi Daivikam. All these are factors, which is why we always pray Daivi Swastirastunaha. That is the prayer. Daivihi Swastirastunaha. May all the devas be benevolent upon us, and may they bless us with auspiciousness, with grace. Correct? You may set yourself in the right place. You may set up yourself in the right place. I'm sitting in the right place. Everything is fine. Air conditioning, this thing, that thing. Your mood is good. You put a nice music, nice flute music. You put your coming light, dim pantu. You're sitting down to now come, let me do dhyana. And suddenly you realize you're sitting on a beetle bug. அது டக்குன்னு ஒரு கடி கடிச்சிரும். நீ பாட்டுக்கு நிம்மதியா தியானம் பண்ண முடியுமா அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ஒரு கடி கடிச்சிருவாங்க. ஆதி தெய்வீகம். What do? You might have, to whatever extent you have done, but suddenly you'll see something will prop up from somewhere and it'll bother you. So you have to pray for this also. May I be relieved of all these obstacles, so that, why? What is my intention? My intention is my inner exploration. I want to explore this truth. I want to explore truth. For what? For my own well-being and for the well-being of everybody. And now, see, only when I am okay will my interactions with the world be okay. Otherwise, I'll always see problems around me. So this whole process of fixing ourselves by means of trying to establish myself within myself, and for that I need these obstacles to be removed. Daivi swastirastunah swastir manushebhyah urdhvan jigatu bheshajam. May all the plants, creepers and all of those vegetation grow, because I don't have to be hungry, because I don't want to run behind food. Food should be available for me. That is why whenever we pray for bhoga and moksha. Bhoga is not so that I go and enjoy. You're seek for bhoga so that you can go towards moksha. The movement towards moksha is primary. Bhoga you're seeking so that bhoga doesn't become an obstacle in my journey towards moksha. That is the reason we ask. Bhukti mukti pradayini. So bhukti and mukti. I want bhukti, I'm wanting mukti, but I cannot ignore the fact that I'm in a constrained cage which requires certain things to stay quiet. The body quiet irukkanona adukku sila thini podnom. We have to give it some things so that it's quiet. Otherwise it can cause havoc. We don't want to get to the stage where I am not able to handle the havoc the body is creating. If we put ourselves to the stage where the body is havoc, I'm not able to control, then I need external aid. So whenever it's a possibility, I can manage this. Let me pray so that this does not become an obstacle in my journey. Right? So that is the Om Tachayora Vrunimahe Gatum Yajnaya Gatum Yajnapataye Daivi Swastirastunaha Swastir Manushebhyah Urdhvan Jigatu Bheshajam Shanno Astu Dvipade Sham Chatushpade Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishthad Dashangulam. So now we've got about 15 minutes. We will look at the first verse at least. Om Sahasra Shirsha Purusha. Sahasra Shirsha is 1,000-headed Purusha. Now we saw earlier Purusha does not necessarily mean male. It is just highlighting a masculine aspect of dominance. So this particular entity is a dominant entity. Is a Purusha. It is Sahasra Shirsha. He's got 1,000 heads. Now there is Vyakhyana in the Mudgala Upanishad and Subala Upanishad to say the Sahasra doesn't necessarily mean Sahasra. Sahasra means infinite. It is a way of saying 1,000. ஆயிரக்கணக்கில் இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம்ல தமிழ்ல when we say ஆயிரக்கணக்கில் இருக்குன்னா அந்த கணக்கு என்ன சொல்லு அப்படின்னு கேட்டா சொல்ல முடியுமா? somebody ask you எவ்வளவு பேர் எத்தனை பேர் கூட்டம் சேர்ந்தான்னு ஆயிரக்கணக்கில் சேர்ந்தா அப்படின்னா you're not asking, when you are not telling them an absolute count, you're giving them an indication that it is uncountable, right? So in the same way, sahasra means 1,000. Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. He has got 1,000 eyes and he's got 1,000 legs. So again, we had spoken about this, but it is not because he's got 1,000 heads. He should have Dvisahasra Path and Dvisahasra Aksha. Right? Because he's got 1,000 heads, it doesn't mean he has 2,000 eyes and 2,000 legs. Because 1,000 is an indicative number here. It is an indication to infinite. In fact, Sahasra Nama also that we do, of course, there is a number, we do it for 1,000. There are 1,000 Namas. But why they kind of, you can do 10,000 also, you can do 100,000 also. But it's a reasonable number. 1000 தடவை சொல்லியிருக்கேன்ல உங்ககிட்ட அப்படின்னு நம்ம சொல்றோம்ல. So பெருமாள்கிட்ட போறச்ச நம்ம 1000 பேர் சொல்லியிருக்கேன் ஒன்னா I have told 1,000 names of yours. You should stand for me. So this 1000 you takes these forms. The term 1,000 takes these forms, and you're saying there's just so many of it. So Sahasra Shirsha, 1,000 heads. 1,000 heads means wherever I see, it is your head. Two ways of seeing this. One is wherever I see you, O Lord. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. So it's your head, your eyes, your feet, your body. Your tanuhu, your body is everywhere. That is one way of seeing. The other way of seeing it is every person, the Dvipade or Chatushpade you see, all the two-legged beings and the four-legged beings, those heads and those eyes and those legs are the Purushas. So when I see a cat, it's the Purusha. I see a dog, it's a Purusha. See a cow, it is a Purusha. When I see a man, Purusha. I see a woman, Purusha. I see a child, Purusha. Why? Because he has become these multitude of creation. It is him. So I see you through thousands of heads and thousands of eyes and thousands of legs. I see you through all of this. Yeah, I see you in the presence of this whole creation. Just this one line. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad. It means that he is present everywhere. Short of saying that. And we also say that Sarvavyapi. We say these terms. But these are all very different ways of saying the same idea. Because when the same idea is presented differently, it's suddenly, oh, ஆமால்ல அப்படி நமக்கு ஒரு டக்குன்னு ஸ்ட்ரைக் ஆகும். அதே விஷயம்தான் திரும்பி வந்து பின்னாடி இப்படி ஐயே அதே தானே சொன்னேன் அப்படின்னா அதே விஷயம் தானே எத்தனை தடவை சொன்னேன் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி யோசிப்பா ரிஷிகள்லாம் யோசிப்பா புதுசா எதுவும் சொல்லிடலையேனா இதுக்கு நான் ஆகாங்கிற அப்படின்னு. But that is the point. They present it differently so that it strikes us that, oh yeah, that's true. There is one way of looking at the 33 கோடி கடவுள்னு சொல்லுவாள்ல நம்மளதுல. One is, of course, the 33 koti. Koti means a category. So there are 33 categories of gods. The 11 Adityas, the 11 Rudras, the 12 Adityas, Ashtavasus, and so on and so forth. So you total them up, it will be 33. So there are 33 categories of gods. So other 33 koti also means category. So adu oru vidam. It's one way of looking at what is 33 koti. But another way of looking at it, I had seen it in some Subramanya Bharathiyaroda idhula engeyo padichena. He says that 33 kodi na, there are 33 crore was the population at that time. Indian population of 33 crores. 120 crores, but at that time it was 33 crores. So which means every individual is a god. Every person, every human being, every living being, or every human being is a god. So 33 kodi devadargal appadina, every individual is a god, which is what we also believe truly in, that every individual is a spark of the divine. So here he says the same thing. Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapat. Everything that I perceive here, O Lord, is you. And every individual being, human being, Dvipade, Chatushpade, I am seeing, I see your presence. Then Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Atyatishthad Dashangulam. So then he pervades this whole universe from the Bhumi to the whole universe. Vrutva, he pervades, and he extends beyond this also by 10 fingers. Dashangulam, Atyatishthad Dashangulam. He extends, so he pervades this whole material universe that we can see, and he also extends it by Dasha Angulam, 10 fingers. Now, there are different meanings that are given to this. Again, in the Subala Mudgala Upanishads and other Pravachakas have told. The way to see this is, he is certainly present here, which means he is immanent, and he is also transcendent. See, the way the Christian theologies perceive God is a creator who has created this whole universe, and he is here. So that's the universe that is created, and God is here. And he comes and interferes or comes whenever you call. கூப்பிட்டா இறங்கி வந்து ஏதாவது பண்ணிட்டு அதுக்கப்புறம் போயிடுவார் திரும்ப. They don't have the concept that God is present in this world. I had a long conversation with a very, very, let's say, a Christian evangelist, a very passionate evangelist. I had a conversation on this, talking to the person, and I was saying that you perceive God as a creator out there, has created all of this, and you're trying to reach out to God for your needs. He said, yeah, that's right. And I said, can you imagine that God is possibly present right here? So no. So to them, it is either sacrilege or blasphemy, because you're trying to reduce something of such a high stature to a commonplace. It's very difficult for that idea to kind of get in, because God is too holy, too pure, and we are impure. And which is why even those theologies talk about sinners. We are sinners, and we have sinned, and he's carrying the cross for us, so on and so forth. But there are beautiful symbolisms behind it. And I myself, those who have come home, they've seen I have a Christ. So I look at him as a guru, and there is a reverence that I have. But some of these, the way the Catholics or some of these textual approaches that they have is a little different than the approach that the Orient has, right? Particularly this culture, our culture has this kind of a view that God is present here and he's also out there. Or the other way, God is out there and is also in here. So, Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. So, he is all pervading. Another verse will come later. Tripadasya Divi. Pado Osya Vishwa Bhutani Tripadasya Divi. So, he'll say his 1 feet or quarter of that entity or Purusha is in this Bhumi. Bhuta. A quarter. 3 quarters are outside of this creation. Which means to say the same idea that he is transcendent and immanent. And why 10 Dashangulam? A beautiful explanation. Again, here 10 doesn't, it's similar to 1,000. It means he is far removed from this creation. He is there. See, the beautiful example I always think about is Surya Bhagavan. And we've spoken about this during Aditya Hridayam also. Surya Bhagavan is transcendent yet immanent. How is he immanent? By means of his rays. The rays of Surya Bhagavan is the one that makes the whole earth flourish, grow. Whatever we do on earth is because of Surya. And whatever things creatures do at night is because of Chandrama, and Chandrama, it derives its energy from Surya. So essentially Surya. And the Agni Tattva that is there is also Surya's Amsha. Surya Amsha is Agni. So you see the creation that is there right now that is flourishing is because of Surya. But does he care? He is in and through all of this creation. If you take a leaf, there is Surya. If you take a human being, there is Surya. You take any plant or an animal, there is Surya. Surya Tattva is there inside. But at the same time, he is transcendent. He just keeps doing what he doesn't care really. The earth flings off into the universe at some day, he will not care. அச்சிச்சோ போயிடுத்தே பிடிச்சி இருக்கணும் அப்படிலாம் பண்ண மாட்டார். He'll not worry. So in the same way, this is an analogy. This is an analogy to think the way this Purusha or this principle operates is like this. So why Dasha? Dasha is, one beautiful explanation is, from your Nabhi to your heart, you keep both your hands. There are 10 fingers. So you keep 10 fingers between your Nabhi and your hand. So assuming your Nabhi is the earth or the Bhuloka, because you're connected to the Bhu or the material plane with the Nabhi. And assuming the Paramatma is in your heart, which comes in Narayana Suktam also. Narayana Suktam la Urdhvam Jigat Ubheshajam. No, Urdhvam Jigat. Urdhva. No, ஞாபகம் வச்சு சொல்றேன். Maybe next time. இந்த நாராயண சுத்தம்.
தைத்திரிய உபநிஷத்துலயே வரும்.
தைத்திரிய உபநிஷத்துல சார் ரெஃபரன்ஸ். So in Narayana Suktam, I'm trying to recollect the phrase. So the phrase is that the Atma or this conscious principle is like an inverted lotus in your heart. Maybe another time. So this reference is there in the Narayana Suktam also. What it says is that this conscious principle, this Paramatma Tattva, is in your heart. And if you consider your navel, or so essentially you're saying from here, from the navel to the heart, 10 fingers, Dashangulam. So what it's saying is you consider your navel or your stomach or your belly area as the material plane, which is the Bhuloka.
The creation, yeah.
As creation, or this material plane, as this created universe, that is your belly. Because you exist you are able to continue existing. Your survival depends on your belly. Correct? Survival depends on your belly. What you eat, what you consume. That is why you are able to survive. So essentially, that is your creative principle. In fact, Narayana, from Narayana's belly only Brahma arises. So the whole creative principle is in the belly, in the Nabhi. Thank you, Shri Ramji. Tasya madhye mahanagniर्विश्वार्चिर् विश्वतो मुखः सोग्र विभजित ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುನ್ನಾಡಿ ತಸ್ಯ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಮಹಾನಗ್ನಿರ್ ವಿಶ್ವಾಚಿರ್ ವಿಶ್ವತೋ ಮುಖಃ. There is another verse, Madla. There is another verse. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಮುನ್ನಾಡಿ இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் நான். तस्य मध्ये महानग्निर् विश्वार्चिर् विश्वतो मुखः संततं सूक्ष्मं तस्मिन् सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितम्. அதுக்கு அடுத்தது போடுங்க. संततं शिलाविस् तिर्यगूर्ध्वाम् अधशायी रश्मयस्य तस्य संतता संतापयति स्वं देहम् आपादतलमस्तकः तस्य मध्ये वह्निशिखा अणियोर्ध्वा व्यवस्थिताः. तस्य मध्ये महानग्निर्विश्वाचिर्विश्वतो मुखः तस्य मध्ये वह्निशिखा. So wherever this madhye is referred to as, it's in the heart. In the center of the heart that this particular sogra vibhajan tishtan aharam majarah kavih santatam shilabhistu lambatya kosha sannibham tasyante sushiragum sukshmam tasmin sarvam pratishthitam. Tasyante sushiragum sukshmam. It is a very, 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 very sukshmamana, very subtle principle that is there in the heart lotus. So this particular presence that is there in the heart is 10 angulas away from your belly. So dashangulam, atyatishtat dashangulam. So that is so what we've seen in this particular phrase is Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapat Sabhumim Vishwato Vritva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. So this particular Purusha is starting with an introduction to say he is all pervading everywhere. You see him everywhere. You see him in everyone. Right? You see him everywhere. Wherever there is space, you see him. And wherever there are people, you see him. Wherever there are objects, you see him. Wherever there are animals, you see him. Because he is the thousand-headed one through everything. He is shining through every eye, through every form. He is the one who is shining through everything. And Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva. He pervades the Bhumi and he pervades the Vishwa, the whole universe. And he is also beyond this created universe by 10 angulas. Atyatishtat dashangulam. Which means now Sukshmama, in a subtle way, the author or the Rishi is introducing this idea that this particular being that is out there, Atyatishtat dashangulam, is here. Right? By actually showing this Atyatishtat dashangulam, suddenly in a 10 fingers, then he's saying this is the 10 fingers and he's right here. He is in your heart. He is in your Sukshmadi Sukshmam within you, in your Hridaya. Hridaya Madhyastham. Thank you, Shriram. So, this is the first phrase to say that he is omnipresent. The next verse will go where he talks about his how he is across all time. Purusha evedagum sarvam yad bhutam yaccha bhavyam is there in the present, is there in the future. So that is the next verse. So we'll pause here for today. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyerva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Svabhavat Karomi Yatyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayanaayeti Samarpayami Sadashivayeti Samarpayami Jagadambikaye iti Samarpayami Sadgurunathaye iti Samarpayami Hari Om Tat Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Deva.